David and I are going to go through some exercises that are important to do to try and strengthen and stabilise the shoulders in the golf swing. Shoulders are really important in the golf swing because we need to be able to get the club in the right position at the top of the backswing and do that consistently. And if our shoulders are nice and strong, then we have the ability to do that. Inconsistencies can come in when they don't, so we'll just go through a few things with you.
So first exercise, we're going to do some pull-aparts. So if I can get Karen to take it in an athletic posture, I want to try and get into your golf stance. So what I want to try and get is to try and feel like you're engaging through the back of the shoulders with this exercise. The important thing is that the grip isn't tight like this. We want to try and keep relaxed through the hands. And what we want to try and do is then try and keep the elbows in by the side, but we want to try and open the hands out as far as we can that way. So if I can get Karen to do that. Good. And what you should feel, whenever you start to work on a few reps now, we should start to feel it at the back of the shoulders. So this is engaging the posterior cuff and it's trying to get it a little bit stronger. And again, if you're trying to work on these exercises, what I would recommend is every 3-4 days, even if you were to do this exercise and just try and work it to fatigue.
I think that's me.
Good. Excellent shoulder stability from Karen. On to the next exercise. Okay, so exercise 2, we're going to do reverse flies. So again, if I can get Karen into a nice athletic posture, I want her to keep her arms, so rather than the last exercise where we're slightly flexed to the elbows, a little bit straighter. And again, what we want to try and do is this time we want to try and feel like we're opening our arms apart. So we're keeping the same address position, but we're going to try and open our arms apart, but try and feel almost as if there's like an orange between your shoulder blades and you're trying to squeeze it. So you're trying to get the shoulder blades engaged and get them moving. So again, if we try and work on that, again, you can work it every 3 to 4 days, and if you work it to fatigue. Again, if you're doing it right, one of the things that we don't really want to happen is if we start to slump. So if we're trying to do this, if we watch Karen from the side, if she turns around to the side, so what we don't want to do is end up slumping through the middle of the back like that. We want to try and keep that athletic posture and try and feel that the shoulder blades are back and down. How are you getting on, Karen?
Good. Shoulder blades are moving in nicely, I think.
Good. And relax. So on to the next exercise, number 3. So the last exercise, we're going to get Karen to do some scapular press-ups. The reason for this is it engages a muscle that normally kind of stabilizes the shoulder blade against the rib cage and keeps it moving quite nicely. And it's important for, obviously, your trail shoulder on rotation. If we get Karen to go into all fours, good. Karen's going to do a nice easy one on her knees just because she lacks the strength. If we can get Karen to try and feel like her shoulder blades come together, so letting her chest sinking down towards the ground. And then what we want to try and do is try and feel like we go up the way as far as we can. Good. And then again, let it come down. So again, if you notice, Karen's elbows are staying straight. So we don't want any kind of excessive elbow flexion because that's going to be more like a press up. So again, this is trying to get those shoulder blades moving around the rib cage and getting that movement of it.
You could manage on the toes.
Okay, let's get a look at Karen doing a full one on her toes. So again, this would be making it harder. So again, if we're trying to get that shoulder blade moving, we're trying to ensure that we're keeping, again, one of the things that we don't want is if Karen's bum starts to sag down quite a bit whenever she's doing this exercise. And again, you'll notice that she's in a nice straight line between shoulders, hips, knees and ankles, while she was a few minutes ago.
I'll do it.
So that's exercise 3. So why is shoulder stability so important for golf? So if we take the trail arm, for example, if you're a right-handed golfer, so if we think of the shoulder, we've got the shoulder blade here, which we all know where the shoulder blade is. We can feel it if we're sitting in a chair. We can feel it poking against the back of the chair. But the other main kind of joint to think about is the ball and socket joint. So if you think about the scapula here, it's almost like the golf tee that the kind of ball sits on. And it's important to be able to control the tee and have it in a good position. So if you think about whenever the arm's coming up into the backswing, as that ball and socket is rotating, it's important that that tee is in a good position and an optimal position for the ball to get into. For instance, if we look at Karen from the side, if you turn around and face forwards, if Karen's quite rounded through her shoulder like this and she tries to get into that same position again, it's very, very hard to try and kind of get that ball and socket to kind of get up into the position that we need for that trail arm and the top of the backswing. You can relax now.
Thank you.
So the main muscles for that, we're obviously trying to work, we talked about serratus anterior, which normally kind of keeps that shoulder blade against the rib cage. The other muscles that we want to try and work on is the posterior cuff, which acts a little bit more in the ball and socket joint, but also lower traps, which will kind of engage and kind of keep that shoulder blade kind of down and engaged. So yeah, enjoy your exercises, folks.